So recently, Roblox had a direct listing onto the stock market, which means that they're now available for us to buy shares in the company, which made me have a look a bit more in detail and in depth into this company, what it does, and whether it's worth investing in. And what I found out is that this is a absolutely amazing company that is going to, in my opinion, is going to have huge growth. There's so much potential for this company, the platform that it's got. My biggest concern really is around the current market cap, how much of that growth is already priced in, and how long it's going to take to get to the value of its current market cap to kind of justify buying it now in the expectation of getting future growth. So, first of all, if you don't already know what Roblox is, basically it's a platform where people can build and create games. And the platform is really easy for people to create these games. So easy, in fact, that obviously the largest group of users for this platform are effectively children under the age of 13. Now, obviously, that doesn't mean that all games developers on the platform are that age. There's obviously plenty of adult designers creating these games and behind them. But the point being is that even young children are able to create games on this platform. And that was kind of like the original concept, I think, was to allow people to be able to build these games themselves. So, moving on from that, the business model as such is that these games are kind of like a freemium game, and the players can buy various different upgrades, or how you would with any other freemium game. You kind of play it for free, and then you kind of add bits in as you go along, and you pay the extra. Now, when you do that, what happens is that money then goes to Roblox through their own currency, and then that currency then gets split in the same way as if you're on, say, an Apple app, and that kind of money, some of it goes to Roblox and some of it goes to the developers. You also have an internal system where it is just for your kind of main character as such, your avatar, and you can buy various bits of kit and skins for your character, and that money can obviously go direct to Roblox as well. So there's plenty of ways for Roblox to kind of get funds in that way, and there's also the potential for advertising as well that could go through Roblox. So there are many different potential revenue streams as well as existing revenue streams for this business. And I'm not going to kind of go deep into depth on all of those different things, because obviously at this stage a lot of that is all speculation. For example, they have done a partnership very recently with the DC Comics, that kind of partnership to bring the brand into the ecosystem so that games are created within that kind of genre as such. Money goes to DC and money goes to Roblox. So that kind of partnership with brands, if that's able to kind of continue, again, that could be another potentially strong stream of revenue for this company. Now, obviously, at the moment, their kind of main thing is the fact that they are aimed, or that their kind of main market group, as I said, was under 13s. Previously, that was the vast majority of their customers. However, that is very close to switching over. I think they're around 50% is under 13 and 50% over. And they are expecting that to kind of change so that the older group becomes bigger. Now, obviously, that is going to happen over time anyway, as the kind of existing customer base grows up and gets older. So that kind of customer base is going to go up anyway. However, when you when you actually look at the games, the amount of kind of control that are available on these games. Now, just obviously to make you aware, you can use these games, you can play these games on your PC, on your Xbox, obviously where you'd expect them to play, but also you can download the Roblox app on your phone or tablet, and you can also play them over that, and also through VR headsets. Now, I don't know if any of you are gamers for your playing games on your phone, but if any of you have experience of that, you will know that when you play a game on your phone, the large majority of them are basically exactly the same game, but with a slightly different kind of skin on the top. So it can get quite repetitive, and it's quite often I've stopped playing it now because I just kind of felt they were so samey. But when you have a look on Roblox, there is so much more kind of control that the developer has and is able to do. So when you kind of then play these games on your phone, it's then kind of like thinking, well, why would you use the normal Apple app to do this? Why not just play these games through Roblox? And I think potentially going forward, this could definitely be something we could see more of, is people playing mobile games through the Roblox app rather than through like the Apple or the Android app. So that's kind of like my first potential kind of strength of this platform, is people kind of moving over from different areas and moving on to this. You then have the ecosystem within itself, where obviously you've got new people coming in, you've got the very high kind of retention rate of these people that are coming in are then playing these games and staying within the ecosystem because of the fact that obviously all of the games are freemium. So it's not like on your iPhone where you kind of like, you look at a game and you kind of have to decide whether you want to buy it or not. And if it's a freemium game, you know that it's basically the same as all the other freemium games that you've played. So Roblox is so different to that, and it just means that you've then got this huge network of different games and different kind of genres that you can play. And there's so much fun, to be honest. There's so much variety in them that there is something for everyone on this. And you can even go on YouTube and you can find videos of people that have made games in 10 minutes. Now, obviously, very, very basic games at that stage, but that's how easy this platform is. So in my opinion, I can see a lot of potential games developers, young people that are interested in creating games, are more than likely going to start on a platform like Roblox. And when they start on a platform like Roblox, I think that means that they're also more likely to grow and develop with the platform. So as the platform gets more advanced, as their skills get more advanced, so do the games. The kind of potential of the two together, the two working together, means that I think there's going to be a huge future for Roblox. And I can see some really amazing games being available, on Roblox in the future. That's not necessarily to say that the existing games aren't great, but I think we're more likely to see things like Fortnite type games, the games that have become incredibly popular online. I could see those becoming Roblox games as well. And because of the fact that there's so much kind of community aspects built into Roblox, there's so much to keep you into the platform and locked in that I think it'll be hard for people to leave. So looking out at the actual business model itself, they own their own infrastructure. So rather than like hiring and using data centers globally, because they have to be a global company, because they need to be in all these different countries, they've got their own data centers and they've bought these data centers all over the world, which they've said is giving them huge cost saving, and which means that they have got potentially more money to give back to games developers. And that's another key thing that seems to be pretty kind of consistent throughout the business. When you see the business management speaking, is they're talking about how they want to give money back to the developers. Now, in some ways that's really great, because what they're kind of doing is they're saying, look, if you want to come and develop on our platform, you can make a lot of money. And when you look at the numbers that are going through, there's still very, very large amounts of people that are earning $300,000 plus a year making games on these platforms. Now, obviously, some of those will be businesses that have multiple employees, so that's not, one person that's making 300 plus grand a year, but that's still a very large group of developers making quite a lot of money from this platform. And when you kind of then put that together, you're looking at the management team who, because they have that focus on the developers and they're having that kind of push into bringing good developers onto the platform to kind of make that money. And that's one thing about the management team. I think because of the fact that they are pushing with regards to making the developers stay on the platform, they're kind of working really hard to reward good developers and to make them stay and to continue to create great content. And because of this, it then means that these good developers will stay because they can make lots of money. It will encourage other great developers to come over to the platform because they can make plenty of money. And when you have people making great content, it then draws customers in because that's where the great games are. So that kind of self-fulfilling circle is very much a case of you provide the great customer service, and then that means that the customers will come to you. Now, that's the kind of the business model, and whether that actually kind of works as such is a different argument. I mean, when you look at somewhere like YouTube, for example, I don't think that YouTube necessarily focuses anywhere near to that level on its content creators. If anything, I think they're almost not so bothered about rewarding their content creators because they know that they're going to get that content created anyway. So there is an argument that you could say that maybe actually Roblox doesn't need to reward its content creators anywhere near as much as they do, because of the fact that if they didn't, they would still be making the same content. So, there's swings and roundabouts on that, and whether it will be a case of, as the platform grows, whether they might start to kind of pull back on that and start to kind of make things a bit stricter. Potentially that could be what it is, and that for now they're focusing on that growth. And once they kind of have that reputation, once they've got all these good developers on the platform making content, making new games, maybe then they'll start to phase down and start to kind of keep more of the revenue for themselves. So looking at the actual company valuation, it's currently valued at around $40 billion. The revenue is about 900 million. So obviously we are talking about significant growth of this business to reach that market cap. I think it's very possible that actually the company will not grow to its current market cap as a possibility. I don't think that's likely. I think it will. I think it will surpass the current market cap of 40 billion with earnings once it kind of gets there. But my concern is really that I think it's a bit too far off, because for it to be worth 40 billion, I mean we're talking about making I mean, they need to be making a profit. Even if we were to say at 40 times earnings are making a profit of $1 billion to make that market cap, that's, I mean, they're not making any money at the moment, but they're not even turning over $1 billion. So we're probably talking about 5, 6, maybe even 10 years time. Maybe not even that far actually, maybe more, 4 or 5 years for them to reach $1 billion in profit, if they get the growth that I'm expecting, that I'm thinking is possible. Therefore, do I think, obviously a lot of the companies I invest in, I expect 100% growth. So do I think that the market cap for Roblox could reach 80 billion in the next couple of years, in the next year, really, for the market cap to reach that? No, I don't. And that's not necessarily saying that I don't think the company's growth can justify a market cap of 80 billion. Not at this time, and there would need to be some significant changes with the business and significant growth within the business for me to sort of think that 80 billion is a potential. So I'm very, very cautious on the price of this at the moment. Like I say, I'm very, very bullish on the company. I think it's a fantastic company. I think there's so much growth for this company. I think they're going to do so well. And I think what they're doing is amazing. I wish as a kid that I'd have been able to make computer games, because I mean when they had their direct listing, I was even tempted to log in to create my own game just to say I had. But instead I logged in and I played some games instead. And you know, there's a lot of great games on here, as I've said, a lot of great potential. The market cap is, for me, a bit too steep at the moment. And like I say, although I think there's going to be significant growth, that kind of growth for me is already very heavily included in the market cap as it is at the moment. If the business was making money, if it was actually turning a profit, that 40 billion market cap, it might be a little bit more justifiable, because you could be like, well, you know, they've just started making money now, it's proven that they can, so now it's only going to kind of grow. But it's not, so that's where we're at the moment. So those are my thoughts on Roblox. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below, and thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.